Welcome back to WGL APAC Season 2. This time, Rogi and Alex will be bringing you some hot tanking action.
Right, so
Elfish is going to have to take a little bit of a breather after that game. We're all blown away by just how well Team Efficiency did. We thought Dark Wolves at least had one round in them. Yeah,
well, we've relocated Jordan back to the production room on observing now after his prediction fell flat. But from memory, Max, yours wasn't too crash hot either.
It was funny. Of course, we did do these predictions before we saw the rise of Team Efficiency up to that godlike status, the undefeated status.
I always had faith.
Congratulations, Alex. You've made some great ones this week.
I have.
It's a week of upsets, so what do you expect? It's you're also upsetting on the production side of things. Prediction side, sorry. Getting a few good ones.
Yeah, close enough. Anyways, there we go. But, of course, we do have a bit of a different matchup next, which hopefully should be a little bit closer. It is TCZ taking on the Horsemen, Max.
Now, unfortunately, Coalition Zoo, they couldn't play yesterday. They weren't able to field their entire roster, so I'm hoping whatever situations arose, they've had them sorted, they've dealt with them, they have nothing else on their plate, they can just focus on playing tanks tonight. And going up against Horsemen, who are on such a downward spiral, I think Team Efficiency may be in with a good chance here.
Yeah, TCZ, they may very well be in with a good chance. Like, Horsemen, they haven't looked super strong in their recent matches. I think against TCZ, like, it's always hard because there's never been competition between these two. It's always just been, you know, Horsemen. Every time they've played each other, you know, the last match was 5-1 to the Horsemen. TCZ barely scraped around. So to call this one super close is hard, but I think that TCZ's form recently has warranted me predicting them that they'll improve upon their last score, and I'm going to be saying this one is probably going to be a 5-2.
You're giving Coalition here an extra round, and I think that's a fair assumption to make based on their most recent performances. They have been playing well, and of course, based on Horsemen's performances, who are playing worse and worse every single week in and week out. These guys, they're just falling, they're slipping, they're just not playing up to their natural standard. You can see these are the players on your screen. Despite Gorilla and Archon putting up huge numbers yesterday, it just doesn't seem to be enough for them.
Yeah, not quite, which is a little bit disappointing for the Horsemen. I mean, you really count on, you know, guys like Sphinx, one of their new additions to the roster, to really carry them. And this season, I mean, he has early on, but then recently he's kind of dropped the ball a little bit. So for their sake, hopefully they can return to their solid form that's earned them a spot previously up near the top of the ladder.
Of course, on the other side of the table, you've got Coalition Zoo, who unfortunately we didn't get to see play yesterday, as we mentioned earlier, some technical issues or whatnot preventing them from fielding their full roster. So once again, I do hope that these guys have sorted out all their troubles, everything that bothers them, and they are coming in with a full rested roster, ready to take on the Horsemen.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see these guys play, because I was platting with a couple of them earlier this week. It was Pack and Chippy. And that was actually quite fun until I ended up dying after YOLOing in my
Not shooting them though?
At the end of it. No, not shooting them. But yeah, we can take a look at our head-to-head matchup though. Of course, Nandesu and Madhouse.
Madhouse, a familiar face around these parts.
Oh yeah, very familiar. I think the players like that photo of him. I've seen it in a few forum threads as well, with various shenanigans attached to it. But, of course, facing these two off together, Nandesu, much higher average accuracy. I think that partially comes from Madhouse. He does really like to play those faster firing tanks, and obviously maybe getting a little bit more blind fires in as well can damage that stat. But overall, Madhouse with a slightly higher average damage dealt, higher average assist damage as well, and not quite the highest average destroyed though, 0.51 for Mr. Madhouse.
Just getting in the damage when it counts, but leaving the kills to be secured by the rest of his team. Great stuff from a team captain. You got to know when to leave it and when to pursue. So
yes,
wise play out of him. And coming into this, he's really going to have to rally the troops right now, because this is the best shot they're going to have at taking out Horsemen. You mentioned last time they played, it was a bit of a slaughter, 5-1 to the Horsemen. But now Horsemen, they're not looking up to scratch here. So this is Coalition Zoo's best opportunity in a long time to really make a dent on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason we say the Horsemen aren't looking just up to scratch is we see one of their most recent results up against Karen Tiger. You know, this is the Karen Tiger that lost yesterday to the Dark Horse, and the Horsemen went 1-5 against Karen Tiger and pulled off a massive loss. So really, I predicted 5-2, but to be quite honest with you, Max, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one maybe even going out to a 5-3, maybe even a 5-4. But I think either way, we will still end up seeing Horsemen taking this. I think they're just too strong of a team to go down to TCZ, but this is WGL APAC week 4. We've had more upsets this week than any other week in any previous season. So, you know, who knows? Maybe we're both wrong.
Well, let's have a look at some of the maps. They'll give us some clarity onto how this game could go. Himmels and Cliffs being vetoed away by Horsemen, and then Coalition Zoo respectively. Mines being picked for Horsemen. Steps picked for Coalition Zoo, and then Ruinberg getting vetoed out by TCZ. Thoughts so far, Alex?
Okay, well, Himmelsdorf, I actually think I like that ban there from the Horsemen, because recently TCZ have really been picking up their Himmels game. I know previously they used to lose every game and they picked T100s, but they really are looking better at it now. So good ban. Cliff, TCZ never want to play it. Mines and Steps we've got in there. I think Horsemen do well on Mines. Steps, pretty decent
Steps has
map.
been looking weird for Horsemen, though. They've been running those heavy bat chat pushes and it's just not paying out for them.
Yeah, that's right. Going the full bat chat, so a little bit strange, but Steps, look, we can see Madhouse maybe in the Udes. That works for TCZ. Muravanka and Ghost Town picked by TCZ and Horsemen as the last couple of maps. Look, I think that should work out pretty well for them. Yeah, Muravanka, it's not a bad map for TCZ. Obviously, they beat Team Efficiency on it in their first game of the season, and they did look pretty strong. Ghost Town, again, pretty solid for TCZ. And I'm actually not minding this map setup for TCZ. I think Mines is where they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Probably going to be calling that as a 2-0 for the Horsemen, but they should be able to go toe-to-toe on Ghost Town if they get that far.
Yep.
Maybe Muravanka as well. And probably go one apiece on Steps as well. So
I don't see why not. It just depends on which Horsemen show up today. Is it the Horsemen of late or the Horsemen of old? Because this team, they have such a high skill ceiling when they're firing on cylinders. Very difficult for teams to keep up. And Coalition Zoo, kind of a lot of question marks surrounding this team at the moment. We haven't seen them play this week, and it's been such a crazy week that we've been having. So it's always interesting when a team hasn't shown any of their gameplay just yet. Will they follow suit with these bizarre trends?
Well, that's the thing, because I've actually heard on the grapevine, or maybe heard when I was playing with Pac-Manius and Chippy, one of the two, that TCZ had some very interesting strats coming out this week. So maybe we can expect something crazy coming out of their tank lineups up here against the Horsemen. That would be
crazy for them is not 3 E100s, right? That's crazy.
Roll my eyes at that.
Going standard for the Coalition, maybe a bit crazy and unorthodox for that roster. But jumping into Mines first up, you're giving this one to Horsemen 2-0. What can Coalition Zoo do here to change your mind, Alex?
Oh, I think TCZ, well, maybe this is where they have to bust out one of their random strategies here on Mines, but they're not going to be doing that. Instead, going with something fairly standard on the TCZ side. Bat chats, a couple of 113s and a grill on the defense. It's pretty cookie cutter. You've got lots of damage. You've got some push if you want to get towards the hill fairly fast with the bat chats. In the meantime, Horsemen, they've got 2 heavies, WZ and a 113, 1 tier 9 bat chat, 2 tier 10 bat chats, and those 2 TVPs, those fast Czechoslovakian high damage auto loaders that well, can be a big threat if you leave them up.
We've definitely been seeing them crop up on Mines more and more as the season goes on, but jumping into the first game between Horsemen and Coalition Zoo, and we can already see quite an aggressive push coming out of Horsemen. Well, that's quite characteristic of them as of late. They really like to get in fast with their bat chats, and Chippy, he might be in a little bit of trouble. He's been caught out in this rotation. Here comes Sphinx doing a little bit of fancy tanking right now, but they may back off after that damage, but it looks like Hawks and Archon want to pursue for the kill onto Chippy.
Yeah, very aggressive there from the Horsemen, and they do end up getting a good little result. Chippy dropped down to 524 HP, not much damage reflected back on towards the Horsemen at all. In the meantime, TCZ, they have got Joke up there on that central hill. I really want to see them use him to try and leverage back some of that damage that's already gone across, but at this point, a great start from the Horsemen.
Yeah, Archon is just coming in, doing work right now. Nomad and Chippy's both completely pinned down with no hope of getting out to safety. Archon should just use a few more shots to finish off Nomad. Leaves him on 94 HP. He's going to get finished off by Archon that time around. So great opening from the Horsemen. A very aggressive ploy to catch the Coalition Zoo off guard. Now the onus is on TCZ to answer back and get a few kills of their own, because it's looking pretty grim from where we're sitting.
Looking pretty grim indeedy, I think. TCZ at least have actually managed to reflect or start to get quite a bit of damage out on towards the Horsemen. Now the HP lead is actually in TCZ's favour. So
great shot out of Roby.
Yeah. Crazy though, getting chunked down a little bit. So TCZ, they're contesting this, and the good thing for them now is that they actually have hill control. So whilst Horsemen did get that early lead, they sacrificed hill control to do it. And as we always talk about, the hill is a very important position on the map. Lets you fire down anywhere. So now that TCZ have this hill, it is actually going to be hard for Horsemen to try and pressure them, to try and, say, get on the 2-cap or push up from the beach there without getting punished themselves.
Book in a great position. Try go around that lighthouse. Has to angle his turret a little bit better if he wants to make some shots, but OBOV does get spotted and he's very low. Could we see Joke potentially go for a little bit of a cheeky shot over the wall here?
I think he knows a little bit better than that, Joke. It would be very, very tempting, but instead,
Chippy
just gets the spot. Chippy finishes him off. Great little play there by Mr. Chippy.
Yeah. Despite being under such duress as well, so low health, has Hawks just kind of watching him like a hawk, is still able to pull out, pick off a shot against OBOV and tie the tank count up to 6-6.
Yeah, and suddenly TCZ are actually looking really good here, I think. Horsemen, they've lost that WZ-111. They haven't got much kind of bulk left on the field, only those auto loaders. Oh, and Gorilla.
Oh, Madhouse has found him in rotation here, gets 2 good shots into the side, but takes one for his trouble, so knows when to back out. But now Gorilla getting under fire from somewhere else, and under Zoo copping it as well. Coalition Zoo in great strides, taking some big damage off the board for Horsemen. Yeah,
the Horsemen here, they're not in great positions. Their team isn't all kind of in the same area. They're all spread out all across the coast, and TCZ are right up on that hill. And again, they have that hill control, so they can fire down anywhere they want. They've got a lot more focused fire than the Horsemen have at the moment, and that's really, really working for them.
Yeah, Hawk and Archon, they really want to punish Chippies in this position right now, and they should have done it earlier because Chippies was the one that was able to finish off OBOV, but now Roby won, giving him a little bit of covering fire here to ensure that if they're going in, they're going to be losing a Batshat for a Batshat AP. They don't want to make this trade just yet.
Yeah, the Horsemen right now stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that hard place may be a Grill 15.
Oh yeah.
There's Joke again, perfect position just to get some shots down and cross on towards him. Can he shoot it? Oh, yep.
Good
he
hit.
hits it.
Good connect. This could be bad for the Horsemen. They still have both their Batshats. They're trying to get an angle onto Chippies, but they're just not finding it.
Yeah, as now Sphinx is taking some damage in that TVP, and look, looking at where TCZ are right now, they have a massive HP lead. It's almost 3,000 hit points that are in their favour. It's not going to be easy for the Horsemen to push up on towards them. Look, we've got Lion up here, we've got Madhouse up on the hill. You know, you can't push up here if you're the Horsemen, particularly from where the Horsemen are situated right now. So
House and Sphinx trading shots right now. Madhouse has to be careful. He still has an HP advantage in that 1v1. But understands that it's a very valuable resource to have on the Batshat. Doesn't want to overcommit to anything just yet in case someone from Horsemen makes a rotate around, catches him off guard, and you can see Gorilla was doing just that.
Yeah, and now you can see the Horsemen, they have got those 2 Batchats down in K1. Spencer's still just sitting tied up around the A4 area, but Spencer does have quite a bit of health, even in the Batchat AP, 1600, so perhaps they could use him to try and get these spots. Try and play a little bit more aggressive because Horsemen are on the attack here. So
they have to do something.
Exactly, they have to do something. They have to make the move, and whether that's a coordinated push with their Batchats down in that K line with these guys up the north. Maybe Spencer rotating around here is a good move.
I think you're right. He needs to be doing something. He's got the HP to back up his play. He has been spotted out by Madhouse. Fire coming through onto Madhouse. Not going to connect on him just yet. He's going to back off. Getting the spot is worth They know where the high HP value target is on the Horseman. Stay as far away from him as possible.
Yeah, so Manhouse being spotted out there, it's not the end of the world for TCZ. Maybe. Oh, this is actually a bit cheeky here from Madhouse.
I like it though.
Cheeky, very cheeky. Oh, and Joke might be taking a few shots there as well. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Horsemen aren't quite far down at the moment. 2.2k damage down, or hit points down, but they do have all of their autoloaders still on the field. They've got so much damage still on the field. You know, TCC can't make a mistake right here. So if Madhouse just fell off and died, then that could have been an option there for the Horsemen. But it looks like Madhouse still just playing it fairly safe here. And Archon, again, I feel as though it really shows a little bit of desperation for the Horsemen when Archon's going for these super low percentage shots. You know, bam, he has to reload now. The bat chat's down here, can't go in for another 35 seconds. Yeah. And the clock's just hit 3 minutes.
Horsemen under the pump right now. They need to start making coordinated plays, not going for the low percentage base hits here. And as we can see, Coalition Zoo, they're not giving them any wiggle room. Spencer making his way down to that one flag. What does he want to do? Go for a bit of a cheeky flank? No, he's just kind of holding himself. Archon going to be off the reload any second now, and maybe that will cue a push onto Chippies, because he's been allowed to just sit here forever.
Yeah, Roby1 Kenobi in that grill as well has just been getting free damage off on towards those bat chats down the south. He's still on 1800 HP himself. 2 minutes left. Look, Spencer's making a move.
I think he just wants to take out the grill. He's been spotted though. He's going to be under, completely aware of where they are, and you can see that's causing Coalition Zoo to re-rotate back around now. Fire onto Spencer. They're not going to let him get that free kill onto the grill. Sphinx, he's not hitting anyone right now. He's super low, 116 HP. That's 2 kills coming through for Coalition Zoo. They're off to a great end of this game against Horsemen, who only have 4 tanks to the 6. This looks like it could be done and dusted. Coalition win.
Yep. Like, it's looking like that right now, and I don't really know why the Horsemen have waited so long. It's now, you know, ticking past 2 minutes.
Yeah, there we go.
Easy kill there for Joke on TCZ, and like, I suppose they couldn't really have done much to the Horsemen because they were trapped. You know, they had those members trapped down on the K line, trapped on the beach. They couldn't rotate them at all because they sacrificed that hill control to get those early, you know, bits of damage off. And
now it's just cleaning duty right now. Finishing up the remains of the Horsemen. Cleaning up the scraps. Only 3 tanks left remaining. Spencer goes down to the very grill he was assigned to assassinate. Not going to be able to do anything about that one. Nundasu and Hawks just going to cling to dear life as the impending doom pursues. Crazy.
Oh,
Ram. Trouble.
Oh, no. Roby stole Lion's kind of style points there. He wasn't having a ram in. That's a bit disappointing.
Well, that's stylish in its own right. Getting the kill right from under the treads of your teammates' tanks. So great start for Coalition. We really didn't expect them to come out on mines this strong to start things off. So great play by them. Sloppy by Horsemen once again.
Very sloppy by the Horsemen. I mean, they just lost to TCZ, and TCZ still had 6 tanks alive at the end of the battle. When does that happen? Like, seriously. And I think they just needed to keep on going with their push early on before letting TCZ, like, essentially reposition onto the hill, get into the perfect positions to defend it. Horsemen just needed to fully commit to that beach push after they got that little HP advantage. Just keep on going with all of their tanks and drive it home. They didn't do that. Instead, they just got trapped, you know, in the middle of the beach. 2 of the bat chats down the south of the beach, a few of the bat chats up north near their spawn. And when you've got your team split up into 3 separate areas like that, TCZ holding that middle hill, holding all of the ground where they could fire upon any member of the Horsemen with more of their team than Horsemen could fire back. There was no way for the Horsemen to come back from that.
And keep in mind, this is the second time that Coalition Zoo have won defense on mines out of 5 games being played. And looking at the attack, it's 0 out of 4 times being played. So this is the true test when they get onto that attack side, whether or not they can finally add a win on Mine's attack under their belt. But again, great stuff being able to take the first round of the game over on Horsemen, who, again, I don't know what's going on in the Horsemen camp. This is just, it's becoming a worrying trend here. They're just not performing, and I can't put my finger on it.
I think the only thing to say is maybe that the Horsemen don't really play mines that well in general. I think so that's something which they can take away, but wasn't it a Horseman pick?
It was a Horseman pick.
It was a Horseman pick, wasn't it? Which is just strange that the Horseman pick mines, honestly.
First pick as well, so they still had quite a few maps to go through.
Yeah, it's never a map that's been super strong for them, so anyways.
You can see this is the first pick that Coalition, Horsemen, sorry, were able to get on the Coalition Zoo. And I'm thinking it's looking great for Horsemen at this
it was
stage.
looking
And
fine.
then everything kind of fell apart when Chippies, he was just allowed to sit there. And I really want to focus on Hawks and Archon in the double bat shots. They were just sitting around that K and J line, not doing zip, doing nada, nothing. They were just dead in the water. Roby on the grill, putting up huge numbers, 4K damage for him. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, Roby did work there in that grill. I think that was just the perfect setup for, as well. You know, I think I said on the tank select, they've got a cookie cutter, but very, very solid defensive lineup here for Mines. And I mean, Madhouse there in the bat chat, 2.3k damage. Crazy 2.1k damage dealt as well. Line with 2,000, and that's interesting. Number 7 in damage dealt actually has 976 damage. So
yeah,
that is something that we very rarely see. In fact, and I'm surprised that no one actually got in the 1,000 damage mark. Very surprised.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre there. Big leaps between that one. But Coalition Zoo, you can see the correct members doing work there. Madhouse, Crazeby, and Lion all on the top half. And I want to see whereabouts on Horsemen kind of let down the slack here. The remaining 4 members that will be filling up the bottom half of this leaderboard.
I want to say Sphinx probably didn't do too much in his TVP. It didn't feel like he did much. He had 900, but there you go. We have actually got 8 through 14th that dealt sub 1,000 damage each. So
yeah,
that is interesting. Those Batchat APs, again, they didn't do too much damage, but they worked.
We talked about Hawks and Archon in the bottom side of the map, and Hawks actually did nothing.
Yeah, Hawks literally did nothing. 7 shots fired, 0 damage dealt. You know, going for these really low percentage shots across on towards, you know, that 113 of Joke that was up on the hill there for TCZ. That was never going to work.
Maybe something wasn't that Archon going for it as well?
Probably.
Yeah, I just feel like Hawks was a non-factor in anything in that game. He tried to back up Archon at the start of that game, got taken quite low, then it was just basically a sitting duck for the rest of the game. Couldn't move, couldn't do anything, or else he faced the wrath of Roby-1 Kenobi.
There you go. There you go, Max. I think TCZ are going to be pretty happy with that win.
Oh, I'm sure they're beaming right now.
Hopefully they can keep on with that momentum going forward in this series. And again, they had a bit of a break yesterday. You know, PCs might have been melting in the heat or something, but they're looking definitely back today. I would say.
No, it's a much nicer day today. So
hopefully
that helps
very nice.
with the mental fortitude they need to recover, because it's very draining playing in such heat. And they have learned to pick more appropriate tanks. Remember, L is for learning here on the Coalition Zoo, and they have learned to go for more standard tank setup. So we'll have to see if it follows suit on this attack side.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's helped them a lot. Like going just even slightly more standard, because they still pick 1 or 2 100s, but the games that we've seen them go just a little bit more towards a standard tank setup, just like that. They can play them well, and they work out better. And I'm all for, you know, trying out different tanks, trying out crazy setups, but typically speaking, they've just been the team that picks bad tanks. so
Look, there's a place and a time for that, right? And it's not in the most important series in the APAC region. That's when it's all hands on deck. Serious time here, fellas.
Yes. No, when the Wargaming.net League Season 2 2016 to 2017 Gold Series, you need to be on your game. And it's looking like TCZ definitely getting on their game a little bit more in this one. But again, we've only seen one game. It's only the first map on Mines. We've still got some more Mines to go through, and then some other maps, of course, to head on to.
I'm curious to see how this series is going to look if it's a 2-0 for Coalition Zoo coming out of Mines, because that's really puts the pressure on Horsemen to perform, because we both gave this map over to Horsemen as a clean 2-0 just based on recent performances and of Coalition's performances on Mines in the past. Yeah,
this is strange. I mean, look, to be fair, if we actually look at Horsemen's stats on Mines, again, we said that they weren't super comfortable on it. And they aren't. They've got a 25% win rate on Mines attack. So that's what we just saw there. We saw their 25% win rate side.
Again, it's perplexing that they picked it.
Exactly. No, crazy that they picked it. But I think out of all of their things, they've got bad win rate, Mines attack, bad win rate, Muravanka defense. Apart from that, it's kind of 50% or above. So I'm not feeling too bad about my 5-2 prediction now. I think it still could potentially go for that. Horsemen, they do really need to go 1-1 here on Mines. Otherwise, you know, TCs are really in this. But on the defensive side on Mines, I think the Horsemen, that they don't have to do anything too crazy to hold it. And you know, typically, I think the attack side on Mines for TCZ, they've never won it.
Yeah, so we're talking about 25%. It looks bad for the Horsemen coming into attack on Mines. It's better than 0. So they must have done their research if they're going to be picking Mines. If they're not comfortable on it, they know that Coalition Zoo are even more uncomfortable. Just maybe unlucky for them to be losing out on that attacking side, but they'll never strong on it anyway.
Yeah, there we go. Well, look, I think TCZ here, if they can pull off a win, then they're going to be very, very happy on this second half of Mines. And again, I think if they just go with those standard picks, just go cookie cutter, you know, maybe we see some bat chats, maybe we see one TVP, even though it's not a super often picked tank from TCZ, couple of 113s, even they do play the 113s quite well on the TCZ side. They don't really need to change the formula up too much, and I think they could definitely make it work. So maybe 2 tier 9 bat chats instead of a scout tank, and if they go for the hill with a fastish lineup, then I can see that working.
We have seen Coalition Zoo being a little bit more aggressive throughout their games in the last few weeks here, and Horsemen have really stepped up their aggression as well. So if we do see these two aggressive teams clash, like you said, going for an aggressive push on a hill, then we might see something similar out of the defensive team as well, and then it can just be an all-out brawl, which, when it comes down to it, I do favor Horsemen in an all-out brawl. I think they've been practicing it more often. Coalition Zoo are only just discovering this side of themselves. They're usually much more focused on running these big, heavy tanks, and I really want to see if they've changed up their tank picks coming into this attack side. Okay,
so we are going to be seeing a few little different tanks here. The Horsemen going with a bit more of a standard defensive setup there. They have got the T49, so it's obviously going to mean that the T49 probably trying to head to the hill very early on and deny some hill control onto Coalition Zoo. TCZ in the meantime, they've actually got the T49, so we might be seeing a bit of an early clash on the hill for both of these teams.
I hope so.
TCZ also going for the 2 TVPs, which, again, I think that's quite bold for Team Coalition Zoo.
They're really following the meta right now, aren't they?
Yeah, which it is good to see, but look, we are going to be seeing a hill push from both of these teams, so a very early clash is certainly on the cards, Max.
Oh yeah, here we go. Spencer and Joke going to be the first ones to lock eyes.
Oh, there we go!
Onto
He's
Joke.
On fire, doesn't have a fire extinguisher.
Oh my lord, Joke. It has just gone terribly for the Coalition Zoo to start things off, but Spencer may be the one to pay the price, but his job here is done. He goes down with a smile on his face for now, at least. If Horsemen can capitalize on the huge damage dealt, then this could be over very, very quickly. Here comes Corks, Archon, and Gorilla in the bat chats. They want to get the damage down. They want to get it done fast. Coalition Zoo are reeling right now. They're not sure where to go. They're just floundering under the pressure. Gorilla and Archon should have no trouble taking out Roby1 Kenobi right now. He goes down to OBOV from the side. Chippy's looking for one good shot in the T49. If he can get something similar to what Spencer did, he'll be smiling.
Oh, there we go. Big shot on towards the grill. Nandesu. Now TCC, they really just need to take him down. They need kills right now. Otherwise, they're going to be just going a little bit too far.
There we
go. They've got them.
They're getting great kills on the board here. Coalitions who are answering back. This game is on an absolute knife's edge right now, but tank advantage in favor of TCZ. They have the opportunity to finish it off, but OBOV has the opportunity to take out a few of these low health tanks. Here comes Chippy's only a small shot onto Hawks. That's going to be a long reload time. OBOV gets the kill onto Crazy brother. And so we're back on even footing. Joke is super, super low here. Horsemen, they're answering back. They get the kill onto Joke, but Madhouse still in a full HP TVP could have the potential to take out Hawks and tie up the game.
Yeah, look, Chippy could do so as well. And
Hawks, he's trying.
Yeah,
Great shot at OBOV, kind of dashing the hopes and dreams of Coalition Zoo, and it looks like we will be ending Mines.
The roll! Look at that.
31 HP. Archon, you can't ask for more than that right now. And with a 15-second reload time,
Yeah.
Madhouse,
Yeah.
not long for this world, in a very quick Mines, just as quick as we're used to seeing this map go when it's two aggressive teams playing, but not Coalition Zoo. Have we ever seen them play so balls to the walls? Unfortunately for them, huge shot out of Spencer to start us off. A 1k damage, lights him on fire.
Yeah. That was it. That was it for TCZ. I think that was just a catalyst. If Spencer hadn't taken 1,400 damage from the T49, he probably would have been okay, and TCZ probably would have had a different result. But at the end of the day, that's why you take fire extinguishers, folks, particularly on mines, particularly when you can be up against a T49 like that. That is the only thing that tank is designed to do, and it did it perfectly, did it very well. So TCZ just yeah, struggling a little bit in that fight. They did come close. Like, it wasn't a bad move there from TCZ, but I think the flank around from the Horsemen from the back caught them off guard a little bit. Exactly, that was a really well executed flank, and Horsemen prioritized targets pretty well. Again, that T49 being taken out when he could have taken out the Batchat.
Yeah,
that was maybe a bit of a low roll or a bit of RNG that meant that the T49 only got 300 damage shot on towards that Batchat. It could have been a 900, it could have taken him out. So lots of little factors like that, but at the end of the day, it was a well-executed defense there from the Horsemen.
No, it really was. They played just to their standard of aggression here, getting a massive shot in. Immediately really set the tone of that fight. The perfect flank, I think you summed it up quite well, but we do have to give credit to Coalition Zoo. After going down from a huge shot like that, I'm sure the comms were very panicky. I'm sure that, and then the flank immediately after, they handled it well, just unfortunately not well enough.
Oh well, look, the TCZ, they're playing well.
They're
playing
they really
well
are
tonight. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. Perhaps just a few just little errors and a little bit of unfortunate RNG. You know, if their T49 had set one of Horsemen on fire, then that would have been it. But look, that does one shot, 1,400 damage. Takes Joke. It completely destroys his tank, basically. You know, he's left one shot from death, and that's just ideal.
That's how they want to start a game on Mines, especially when you're down 0-1 at the moment. You can see Chippy was able to get a huge one onto Nandesu, but it unfortunately didn't matter for him. Madhouse, Crazy, and Chippy all putting up big results for the Coalition Zoo. But OBOV, Hawks, Archon, and Gorilla, once the fighting had kind of settled down, OBOV was really just starting to pick off the kills. They're getting 3 kills is quite high.
OBOV did a lot of work in that 113. He was just pumping out the damage. As soon as he came around from behind, then it was just a damage machine. But, you know, Chippy in that T49, 5th dot damage, still 17, 16 damage. Cannot be disappointed with that at all. And I think that was almost a bit of a mistake, actually, from the Horseman's Grill to come up that far forward. And he semi-paid the price for it by taking a 950 damage shot, you know. But at the end of the day,
the T49's really leaving their mark on Mines tonight.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love seeing a good T49 off.
We'll have to see how much Spencer did. Look, one shot.
Yeah, one shot,
1.4k
damage. Yep.
Thing of beauty right there.
Perfect. Nomad in the TVP, I think he was the one that got exploded. Good target calling from Horsemen to prioritize that TVP as well. It can be a very disruptive tank. Can deal so much damage if you leave them alive, so that was a good move. Nandesu not really doing too much in the grill, only getting 3 shots off. I think that was his bad for playing a little bit too aggressive. But look, Horsemen end up with the win.
Yep. So great stuff by Horseman. Joker still didn't do too bad despite getting that massive shell in him at the start of the game. But yeah, congratulations to Horseman tying up the series 1-1. Got a series on our hands here, Alex. The first one didn't leave a lot to be desired. It was quite a bit of a one-sided slaughter. Unfortunate for the Dark Wolves, but looks like we have some competition between the two. And even still, that's saying a lot. Coming into this game, we thought this was going to be a bit of a whitewash in favor of the Horsemen. So if Coalition 2 can show up tonight...
Some people might have thought
a 5-2 is still a whitewash, Alex.
A 5-2 is not a whitewash.
It is. A 5-3, if you had a 5-3, you could argue with me.
A 5-2 can have very close games aside
so
from
can
the
a 5-1. A 5-0 can have
So-
very close games.
so,
It's irrelevant. A 5-2's a whitewash.
No, a 5-1 or a 5-0 a whitewash. Guys, let us know what you think. Maybe we'll run a poll in the chat
What is a whitewash?
to prove what a whitewash actually is. Use the hashtag WGL APAC or
Hashtag
maybe
whitewash.
we'll even get a poll going here on live.wgleague.net that you guys can vote in, of course. Anyone voting in polls today and watching the stream counts towards your completion of the WGL APAC Pro Tanker Quest, where you can win 200 gold and 1 day worth of premium as well, Max. So great to have everyone's input here, and I'm sure my definition of whitewash will be right.
Look, it's always great to give something back to our viewers for tuning in week to week and participating in our little social experiments here. It's always great to see the winners. We had a fun one last night with the celebrity tankers coming out, getting a few shout outs on here. So should be good to see who ends up winning tonight and making someone's day, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. Well, anyways, I think that we can take a think on to our next map here. Look, we've played mines. Sort of statistically speaking, the teams that we thought might win each side did.
Yep.
Solid defense there from the guys on Team Coalition Zoo. Solid attack there again from. Solid defense from the Horsemen. So we've seen what has been expected so far. It's 1-1, but now we're moving on. Got to move on from mines and onto our next map. And start thinking about what tanks we might be seeing, all of that fun stuff, Max.
Well, it all depends, right? Because right now we're seeing these guys both be putting out a lot of really aggressive traits so far, and it's not something we're used to seeing when it comes to Coalition Zoo. So when they are rolling out on these fast-moving tanks, I'm curious to know if they have confidence in themselves when they're so much used to taking it slow, taking it easy. If they have the practice in quick, decisive calls, if they have the practice in the split-second decisions, and the way that Horsemen have been playing steps recently will really put that to the test.
Yeah, now Horsemen is a team that I actually quite like on steps. I think they can play it quite well. Recently, some of their tank picks leading into steps where they go to full auto loaders, I think that's a little bit season one, a little bit too season one-y for me. So if they come into this just with a solid balanced liner, some auto loaders, maybe some 113s, then perfect. Something like that. I do like that lineup. And I think here is where the Horsemen potentially could go 2-0. Depending on how the Coalition play this, TCZ on their side, they're going with a bit more of a team efficiency style lineup. Actually, they've got the Object 140, nice high damage dealer that tank can deal. I think about 2,900 damage per minute with its fast firing gun. Bat chats, 113s, and an RU-251 to get on the cap. I like that, and the issue for the Horsemen there is that M40 doesn't have too many super heavy targets to shoot at. So, interesting to see if he can get much done this game, Spencer.
Looking over at the side of Coalition Zoo, they've got quite a grouped up force here. So, before we get too far into this game, I want to jump on board with Coalition Zoo and have a little bit of a listen in to their comms coming into steps.
Yeah, she's alright with chippy gasoline.
Slow down a little.
Huh.
Nice joke.
I slowed down, so trick slowed down. Made sense.
Alright, am I waiting here or am I just going?
Going.
Going now. Okay.
I think our spats are too far ahead.
So,
113's on cap or not? Oh.
Hello?
Yeah. Go around it. If you're not lit, go around it.
I'm lit.
Get going.
Just go
Get cover on the ridge. Let's go, bats.
Oh wow.
right, Mad, we need to catch them. They're gonna move. They'll be moving.
Are we pushing off cap?
113.
Off cap or?
Try and get to here if you can.
Yeah, 113's push
140.
up.
140. Be aggressive through here. We need lights through this bit of the map.
Alright.
Non-desu. Non-desu. Non-desu.
Lit.
Non-desu. Come on, let's go, bats. 113 needs to come up and start putting pressure on.
Right, I'm going over.
140 needs to
Don't
come
take
over
one.
here, and we need to get lights back through here. I want to see where that Artie is.
Are you? Get lights under here.
Robbie.
Roby.
Ruby, what the fuck?
Went over.
And you can really hear Madhouse directing the troops there, the general of his own army, but he goes down first, second to fall on the side of Coalition. This isn't looking great. They really wanted to focus on taking out that Artie and look at that defensive wall that Horsemen have set up around him.
Yeah, this is looking pretty strong for the Horsemen here. I'm not too sure why TCC decided they needed to push in towards the Horsemen. Oh, Nomad, they're getting a cheeky shot on towards the Artie as well. Spencer's in a little bit of trouble, but at this point in time, Horsemen with a big HP advantage, almost 2,000 so far. Spencer not going to be able to do too much, and I like what TCC are now starting to do. They need to retreat, they need to get back on that flag, they need to bait Horsemen in towards them, but Horsemen right now, they do have the advantage of guns in the game. Their tanks are on higher health. It's looking dangerous for TCZ.
Yeah, they're really trying to just wait for this Artie shot before they want to go in for the play. Horsemen, and it's going to be coming out any second now. But you can see 3 on the capture there, 15 seconds to work with. Horsemen, they have to go, and they have to go now. 12 seconds, you can see they're just going to be ignoring Nomad and Crazy. If they want to go in here, we can see the Husk of Roby 1 as the fight goes through. Crazy goes down, Sphinx picks up that one. Yeah. There goes Nomad, 3 tanks left on the field for Coalitions, and I don't think 10 seconds is enough to save them from this one. OBOV should have no trouble getting a reset. There we go. Unfortunate stuff for Coalition. Great little listen-in we had with them as well. Did like the way that Madhouse rather, was directing the troops, but unfortunately it was to no avail. Horsemen will be taking up the first round of steps with a great little counter push stemming from Coalition's over-eagerness to take out that Artie piece.
Yeah, TCZ there. I mean, I think they did push up, wanting to, I don't know, wanting to take the fight to the Horsemen, but there really was no need to in my eyes there. I think Horsemen, they didn't have anyone up on the boost, so they had no easy options to get that cap reset, and TCZ knew that because there was no RU251. There was probably not going to be a bat chat up on the boost because we never see a bat chat up there, even though you can tap it up there with a few others. So really what TCZ should have done was just sat on the cap, put 3 tanks on the cap, force the Horsemen to get out of position in rushing them on the cap, and then it would have been a much easier time for TCZ to get into just essentially a defensive lineup on the cap and shoot Horsemen as they were coming in. But look, they didn't do that. Instead, they were the runs that rushed into Horsemen, and they rushed into a defensive setup that was all ready for them.
Look, this really is a re-envisioned Coalition Zoo that we're seeing. When can you remember the last time we saw CTZ go for such brazen pushes without kind of calculating the odds?
I can remember.
You can remember far back?
I can remember. Oh, they used to do it a lot.
Well, myself a bit new to the scene. I only remember the Triple E100 Coalition Zoo from just a few weeks ago. So.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Maybe back to their original roots then.
Exactly, back to their original roots, yeah. But I think that's definitely more of the ye old TCZ than we haven't seen them really do that too much this season, I think, to be fair. And again, we could hear lots of communication coming out from Madhouse and co, but at the end of the day, communication doesn't matter if your strategy is initially flawed. So look, they're coming in here. They do actually get that early kill. They're still trying to fight Horsemen when they maybe should have just pulled back after that first little pick. And just leaving the 113 and the Object 140 there when those other tanks are on the cap, not really helping out. Like, maybe if they'd even stayed in the brawl there rather than just tried for the cap victory, they would have had more success. But
well, maybe if they landed their shots and got some damage as well, because right now the post-battle stats don't lie, and it's showing that Joke, only one on the side of Coalition Zoo that actually made it up there. 6 out of the 7 members of Horsemen all showing up to play on steps tonight.
Yeah, there we go. Joke with the 1913 damage. That's just a real miss for TCZ, that side of steps. So Horsemen, they came into this one as well with a solid lineup, and I did like that. 113s and bat chats much better than kind of whatever else they've been trying recently, but oh, that's a bit ugly.
Yep, the Artie not doing too much, on par with the rest of the Coalition Zoo, not doing too much. Roby-1 Kenobi getting taken out straight off the bat. The rest of the squad just felt like a house of dominoes.
Felt like, exactly. House of dominoes, I like it. Is it a house of dominoes or is it a house
the house
of
cards? Cards, the stack
yeah.
of dominoes.
Sorry, I was just like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Raggy. Anyways. It's like
yeah, you're getting slow, Alex.
getting a little bit slow. No, I've just had my coffee. I've just had my nice Nespresso, so I'm all good to go in the break. Little cappuccino. But anyway.
Gotta stay refreshed. These are long series here, and luckily
Hopefully.
for us, we got a nice cool day to cast some great tanks on. Now, coming into the next side of steps, I want to see Coalition Zoo mount a much stronger defense. Attackers look like their weak side tonight, so coming into the defense side, they might have a little easier time.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. And look, here on the defensive side on steps, look, I'm thinking TCZ probably going to go with the Udes, maybe throw old mate Madhouse into that one. He's obviously the kind of dedicated Swedish tank destroyer player there for TCZ. I'm really liking recently the pick that we've been seeing is the Kranwagen here on steps. You can pop it right over to the rail line, sit it behind the rails, can do a really good job guarding out that northern flag here on steps. So I would like to see maybe the Kranwagen, a 113, Udes and Batchats coming out of the defensive side here on steps.
They have the potential to do so. They have the tankers that can really pull it off. It's just whether or not they're firing on all cylinders tonight, because they looked really good first half of Mines, and then the last two, it's been a bit shaky. Want to see them kind of revitalize themselves, get back into the field, start. You heard the communication was good. The comms were on point. Just maybe the wrong strategy. So obviously, if they have the right strategy in plan, I'm sure Madhouse should have no trouble delivering the correct information to his troops. Just whether or not they come into the game with the right battle plan.
It is indeedy. So I think, well, if Madhouse can do that, depends a lot on whether his troops kind of follow him, whether they come into this defensive side with a smart lineup. I think it is slightly easy to play steps on the defense. We have seen the really strong sort of team efficiency-esque steps defense setup. I think that is going to become the preferred style of play for the steps defense, because we haven't really seen any team be able to break that effectively and reliably. So if TCZ can do that, then it is going to be hard for Horsemen.
And I really want to see what tanks they've decided to pick here. Like you mentioned, the Udes, definitely a possibility. They've locked that one in for Batshats and 2 113s. On the other side, this is a Horseman strategy that we saw last night.
I don't like it when the Horsemen do all of these auto loaders.
It didn't work out for him a few times.
Yeah, like it's just too many. Look, the Batchat is a perfectly good tank, but when you pick nothing but auto loaders, there comes a point in the battle where you just need one more shell, you know, to finish someone off, and all of your auto loaders are a reload or something like that. You need constant damage on your lineup. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the Horsemen can prove me wrong here. We'll have to wait and see. For now, though, TCZ going with a pretty solid lineup.
Last time they tried.
Actually,
What's up?
Madhouse is doing his thing again, where he just spots on that C5 line. I don't like that.
Neither do I. I think the Udes has much more versatility than just sitting in the bush being a RU251.
Yeah.
But last time we saw Horsemen run this strat, or twice actually, we saw it against Meltdown, it didn't work out. We saw it against Team Efficiency, and they knew exactly what to expect. Didn't work out. This time, though, you can see both teams just kind of swapping sides of the map, and looks like Coalition Zoo knew what to expect, because they don't have any sort of pseudo-scouting tanks up way too far, and you can see they're rotating back around. They've identified the play, and they're making the correct transitions.
Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit from Horsemen. So far, we do see Hawks there with an accuracy of 77% on his Batchat. That is a pretty respectable number right up there, actually.
Great stuff. If you can pretty much keep anything over 75%, you're doing work. Yeah. You really are. And Hawks, he's no exception to that one. Pretty much most of Horseman's players are insanely accurate when in those super important situations, but they haven't gone onto the one flag just yet. So their initial like cheesy rush, not paying out for them. This is where the test of do 6 Batshats work when you don't get your desired initial fight.
They indeed. That is the question. I think right now,
bit of a stalemate. Not too much going on.
Not too much at all. Madhouse again. I would sort of like to have seen him on the boost. Yes, he does get some spots out, but as soon as he starts getting more and more spots in that Udes, then I mean, it's simple. The Horsemen are just going to know where he is, and they're going to pre-fire some bushes, and he's going to end up getting pre-fired. With that being said, it's actually not too bad to be up against the lineup of all autoloaders when they need to pre-fire, because obviously you don't really want to be pre-firing too much if you're in autoloaders. If the whole of the Horsemen pre-fire and lose all of their clips and have to reload for 35 seconds, then TCZ can just go in. So in that respect, Madhouse might have a bit of an advantage in the position, but I think right now, because Horsemen know that they're getting spotted anytime they head on towards that one cap, they're not going to be focusing there, maybe trying to go down south, try and find a few picks on towards TCZ right now. And yep, there's Madhouse. Getting pre-fired.
Yeah, they really want to find out where he's hiding. But, like you mentioned, if it's the autoloaders going for those pre-fires, they're wasting a lot of hits. But look at Madhouse, he's been taken very, very low. And when you're the only one doing this strat on steps in the Udes, you better expect that people are going to wise up to you, mate.
Why is he like is he in siege
I agree.
mode?
Why is he like?
I'm sorry. I just saw him moving forward so slowly. It's like, why is he moving so slowly? Surely he wouldn't be in siege mode there. But look, he does need to move, I guess, and he still, of course, retains the extra camo from the bush if the bush is between line of sight, between him and his enemies. So in that regard, he's technically not that much worse off in the camo, even though he is on the open. So
we know that they have an idea that he's there. If they were watching their shells disappear, here comes Gorilla.
Oh, he's not going to get spotted out now, actually.
Ruby is.
Oh, Madhouse.
Flirt with death.
Sphinx would have been so close to spotting him out there. Yeah, that's it's big. Sphinx not being able to spot him out. Oh, no!
Big shots coming from Lion and Joe. Chippy as well. Ooh, 3 narrow misses though. Sphinx, he's got to watch himself.
Yeah, and
one flag has been started here. Spencer on that.
Putting a bit of pressure on. Hawks in the meantime is down there on that K7 area, so
maybe trying to bait out Madhouse.
Maybe.
Go for some shots.
Who knows, but right now, Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't really need to push in that much. I suppose maybe trying to spot out Spencer on the flag, because that's the other issue for Coalition right now. Now that Madhouse has pushed back. Oh, there we go.
Huge shot, Crazy, and Roby just delete Spencer from the map. Now Sphinx under the pump as well. Madhouse still in the hashtag Madbush, hanging out.
Madhouse doing well. I wonder if it was actually Roby or Madhouse that that spotted him when Madhouse moved up in towards that bush. Because whoever spotted that AMX 1390 there, that was a great job. And I wonder if we actually, I'm not sure if we can or not, look at Spencer's corpse to see what equipment he had, but I would put a pretty good guess that he didn't have a camo net on then, because that just seemed like it was a little bit too easy. Oh, he did have a camo net on.
Yeah, I don't even know if he got spotted. Just felt like they pre-fired it. I didn't see his health bar go.
I think
he was dead very quick, but I didn't see it light up.
I think he might have got spotted for like a millisecond just before he died. So, yeah, but
great stuff out of Coalition Zoo, regardless.
Yeah,
if it was pinpoint reaction time on the spotting, or just Crazy and Roby doing a simultaneous blind fire. But here come the retaliation from Horsemen. All 5 of their Batshats Archon still up in that A4. Want to be going for a push. Nondesu has been spotted out. Sphinx, I don't know if he should be the member leading the charge here. He's so damn low. A good shot out of a few tanks will finish him off. 3.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, this isn't looking too great for the Horsemen. They've lost that pressure from the AMX 1390 on towards that one flag cap.
Nomad's on the reload though. If they go now, they could catch him off.
Yeah, it's risky for Nomad to be like the scout when he's on the reload. And another 15 seconds or so. Horsemen getting ready to push in. And
they've all been spotted though. They've been completely lit up right now. So unless Nomad can back off, he knows that he needs to get out of here. Still 5 seconds left on the reload. They could punish him here if they get there in time, but he might just be off by the skin of his teeth, and he is. He has 5 shots in the chamber, ready to unload. Gets the first one onto Hawks, looking for a second one as well. Dealing out the damage, but it may have been enough. He goes down after firing 2 shells, so that's good.
Yeah, right now, look, Horsemen pushing in with all of those bad chats. Coalitions are they're kind of semi-ready for them, but in the meantime, Archon, he's pushing in from the back.
He wants to get this quick kill onto Lion, who is very vulnerable. He's a full health Batshat, fully loaded as well. He might be able to get the quick kill onto Lion. One more shot should do it. Archon, great flank. Chippy gets a kill onto Sphinx, but that's a low member. Now Crazy in a very precarious situation. Nandasu takes him out, and it looks like Coalition Zoo, unfortunately, could be going down to a great flank, but as I say that, they're getting a few kills. It may not be over just yet, Alex.
Yeah, TCZ still with 4 tanks
Gorilla
up.
goes down.
Just taken down Gorilla, making it a 4v3, but TCZ looking, well, very bad right now in terms of their HP. Poor Horseman with
Madhouse
100.
might go down. He gets a good 400 damage into Nandasu, but can he get any more off before Nandasu finishes the reload? Remember, this is what happens when you're versing a bunch of auto-loaders. Roby1, he's got no fear right now.
Yeah, look at this. This is the typical auto-loader problem now. Is
It goes
that,
down.
yeah, they have just had to reload, but now Archon again still reloading. This is just where a little bit of extra kind of consistent damage, a few 113s, I think would have done Horsemen better, but they're still looking pretty strong. Archon with that damaged ammo rack is going to hurt them, but the Coalition Zoo's tanks are so low.
Chippy's a Madhouse. Oh, Madhouse goes down.
Yeah,
This should
yeah,
be done
yeah.
and dusted. Archon, full ammo here.
Oh no, the track shot. That's going to be it.
Heartbreaking stuff for the Coalition Zoo, but Horsemen clean up steps in a very convincing 2-0 fashion. Congratulations to them. A beautiful flank out of Archon. He was a real MVP winner of that one.
Yes, great little play there from Archon, and well, just a little bit disappointing there from TCC to
Fortunate
let
stuff.
that happen to them. And again, we saw, I think Nomad, it was reloading when all of Horsemen pushed into him.
Yeah, few just small critical errors from the Coalition Zoo that can easily be avoided with a little bit more forethought. But unfortunately for them, they cut corners tonight, Alex.
Yeah, they did cut a few corners, I guess, so a little bit disappointing for the TCZ lads. But, well, I mean, Steps, it is a map that Horsemen have a lot of experience on. It's a map that they know well. It's a map that they play well statistically. So, not too surprising all in all to see that end up with a 2-0 to the Horsemen. I think coming up on some of our next maps, I think we've got Muro potentially coming up as one of our next ones. That is where I might be expecting a bit more of a 1-1. TCZ shouldn't be too disappointed about having that as a
kind of a fallback.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate though. The Horseman Steps, it didn't look too convincing for us in the past, but this time
Yep.
it worked out. For that split second.
Yep.
Good stuff.
All I needed.
That's why we have top tier observers and top tier replay. Get us those crisp clips when our eyes are just too slow for the live. But
well, I think I called it max, to be fair.
you weren't 100% sure though, Alex. You thought, oh, maybe a
I
millisecond.
was being nice.
No, you weren't. You're never nice, Alex. You have this great persona, this cheeky little guy on the desk. We get off and you're real rigid and unforgiving. You should have heard him last night. He was just ripping on Jordan.
Yeah, was that
on the team efficiency not last night, on the Friday night it was when team efficiency beat EL. You were just ripping into poor Elfish guy, and he had nothing to say. It was. We had to pull you off at one stage. You were getting vicious.
Yeah, I like to get vicious.
Not as vicious as Horsemen, though.
Obviously not as vicious as Horsemen here with their tanks, because Nandasu was pretty vicious, 4,000 damage.
Huge stuff.
At the end of that one, Archon and Sphinx at 2.3k damage each as well. So going pretty big.
Great stuff coming out of them. Roby1 in the 113, doing what he can to abuse the high reload time of the auto-loaders. It was looking good for the Coalition Zoo around that time where he was getting some shots off, but he's just too slow. Couldn't keep up with the high mobility that the Batshats offer. On the bottom half of the leaderboards, the Udes, the spotting, the kind of just scouting Udes.
I still hate that scouting Udes. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, that guy's
think it's
vicious.
Vicious.
Exactly. And rude.
I'm
mean,
being vicious.
Appalling attitude.
But it's just bad. Like, it doesn't do anything. We saw it. What did it do? I don't even...
Nothing.
I'm not even sure that it was the one that spotted out the AMX 1390. I think that might have been the 113. Maybe if he was actually the one that spotted out the AMX 1390, okay, it's semi-valuable. But at the end of the day, he could have just been a Nudez boosted up on the cliff, getting shots towards the AMX 1390 and rendering it, useless that way, but then also being a big damage threat for when Horsemen pushed in. And he wasn't a big damage threat for when Horsemen pushed in because he just died because he's an Udes on flat ground against Batchats. You know, it's never going to work like that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
let's hope that's the last we see of the forward scouting Udes out of Madhouse.
Hopefully, yes. Again, it's kind of like the mobile telescope. It's strange. Anyway,
But it's so much more than a telescope. That's the thing, right?
is it though?
Not in the hand of Madhouse.
Not in the hands, yeah, exactly. Not in the hands of Madhouse. And I understand that Madhouse, he likes to, control the lads, call the shot, so to speak. Play it like a bit of a chess game.
Yeah, I guess when you're the one getting that direct feed of information, it can help you to make the correct calls. But when you're the only one doing it in those very specific situations, he got blind fired out very, very low at the start of the game. People are gonna wise on, and they're just gonna punish you for it.
Guess so. But, well, look, Madhouse, he's got to put that scouting Udes behind him because we are going to be heading onto our next map very shortly. And I think we do have Muravanka lined up, if I'm not incorrect, Max.
I think Muravanka then Ghost Town to finish us off.
Yes. So, unless we go to a tiebreaker, which isn't out of the question still.
Yeah,
Mate,
it's a possibility right now. Coming into Muravanka, we've seen crazy things happen on Mura. It's one of those maps you get on that one flag and things just go chaotic. People are coming from all angles on that tiny little hill. That hill just turns into a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Angling out from the village, angling out from if you can get control of the magical forest, you're able to get some of those hefty resets straight down the kind of dirt road there. So there's a lot of possibilities for teams that think outside the box to go for heavy resets when teams go for that very aggressive one flag all in.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's one way to find out what all of these guys will be doing here on Muravanka, and is by having a think first about what tanks we might be seeing. And definitely expecting some standard Muravanka tanks, probably a Kranvagn or two from either team. Yeah, it's not really a tank that the Horsemen love to pick the Kranvagn, but they'll do one where they need to. TCZ. Honestly, Madhouse, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the S-Tank again. He's done it before on Muravanka. It has worked before on Muravanka, both the attack and defense from memory. So, would be expecting to see that over something like a Grill for Team Coalition Zoo here.
Sure, I can see that.
Yeah, and what else? Horsemen, nothing too crazy. I don't know, I'm still waiting for the TCZ to bring out, what they said to me was going to be a few crazy picks, and they have.
Do they have anything, any map specifically in mind? Are you playing on something where they said it? Can you think back, Alex? Think back.
Trying to remember. I think when I said it, we were playing on, was it maybe Malinovka? Let's go with that. But yeah, it wasn't a WGL map.
No, okay.
And unfortunately, I think just after they were saying that, I was in my 263 and I just drove into the enemy team. I did misplay a little bit and may have died and only got one shot off and died 1 minute into the map. And Pac-Manius may have lost internet connection after that because he didn't want to play it with me. I don't blame you, Pac. It was pretty bad. But look, normally it works. What more can I say?
Oh, normally it works. And for Coalition Zoo, something that normally doesn't work for them is a couple of E100s. So I don't think we'll be seeing any of that tonight.
No E100s on Muro. I do not want to see any more of.
What if that's their crazy surprise, Alex?
Could go with that.
What if that's their crazy surprise?
Well, I tell you what would be a good crazy surprise is an E4 on Muravanka. E4, E3, maybe something like that. Bit of a kind of tier 10 American tank destroyer.
What could they hope to gain out of running something like that?
Well, look, the T110 E4, it's very much like the T110 E5 in terms of what you can do with it on Muravanka. It's a little bit slower, of course, but it does have that very strong turret. You can get it hull down, pop it on the defense.
You saw EL utilize it on Himmels?
Yeah, I think we did maybe once, and it can work. I think whether we'll be seeing that, maybe it's a bit of a stretch. Maybe
we are grasping at straws here. We are going off a little bit of a. Yeah, Alex, we may run some crazy things in just a little bit of a friendly game here. They might just be throwing us off.
Not a very high win rate, though.
Coming back, watching the broadcast tonight, having a laugh at us, just having some speculations here. But we don't need to speculate anymore as we finally have the tank picks available on our screen here. Kranvagn on either side, just like you predicted.
Yeah, Kronenwagen on the other side. Horsemen are going to be going with that team at 10 E5, which is a bit more of a standard pick for the defense here on Muravanka than the E4. Coalition, the only somewhat surprising thing then for me is that they don't have the S-Tank. They don't have that STRV 103B in their lineup, which we do often like to see Madhouse playing. And honestly, we've seen how much success TCZ have had when they've kind of converted to a little bit more of the standard tank pick. So I'm willing to give this a try and say that TCZ have a pretty solid lineup here.
Coalition Zoo doing about as even split as you can get in an uneven number. 3 down to the Forest, 4 just kind of sitting around that A and C line. B and C line, we'll get there in the end. Lion has been spotted out immediately by either Spencer or Sphinx. So he's going to have to hightail it out of there. I wonder how Horsemen will interpret that, whether or not they think a Magical Forest play will be coming or just something standard over on that one flag. You can see Gorilla already in his Kronenwagen in its great position on the F line.
Spencer, I think it was fairly obvious where he was because it was a knockdown tree that he was hiding behind. So makes the right call to move away from that 2 flags. Sphinx is going to be the one doing the kind of early spotting for Horsemen instead. But we've got Chippy, Joke, and Crazy in the back. So far, maybe interesting setup here from TCC. They've got most of their tanks in the forest. 3 up towards near their spawn. Too sure what their plan is here because with the 3 in the spawn, you'd think they'd need some help down near the 1 flag. But there's tanks in the forest, obviously. Would be looking for picks around the 2 flag here. But right now, Horsemen aren't pushing out anywhere, so everyone on TCZ is relatively safe. We're not seeing any rushes past the 1 flag from the Horsemen.
Horsemen, they have a good spread out defense here. They've only got a little bit of information available to them that they saw 2 tanks in the Magical Forest. Let's have a listen in with the side of Horsemen to see how they interpret and utilize that information given to them.
我右边用正前方那个草挡住正。
是左边吗？
你这个地方没有俯角，就站在我的右边，不要站我左边。这边你可以自己先拆一下这边的房子。这个探头一直探头，看看会不会那个。我探着看这边跟这边。
阿诺，你可以把注意力放在 D5、C5那边，看他们会不会路过压到东西。
这个就看这一条。
放个草。靠腰吗？一般走。
我就看到树倒了。
他推的，那一上有压的。
我跳弹。
哇，完蛋了！
哇，挑战。 换个草。
So not a lot going on here. Coalitions are not too sure where they want to make their push, but judging by their tanks' positions, they may go for a feint through the forest with Lion and then hit that 1 flag with the brunt of their forces.
It's looking like it right now. I think TCZ definitely playing this one slower than we're normally used to seeing them do, but...
well, this series anyway, they've been playing quite fast.
Yeah, exactly. And Muravanka, typically a map where we see these teams get onto the 1 flag quite early on, but in this case it will be about 6 minutes in, or 4 minutes in rather, that TCZ head on towards 1 flag. The 113's leading the charge as expected, probably going to be taking a few shots. That Kronenwagen should be fairly close behind. Yep.
They've managed to get quite far up, being unspotted rather. They spot out OB/OV, the Gorilla as well. Finally, it looks like Horsemen have the information that they need to identify the play here. Shots coming through, not going to find Gorilla on the Kronenwagen. Madhouse needs to start connecting with a few of these.
Yeah, the Kronenwagen, the Gorilla, I think Madhouse was going for the low percentage shot to try and get into his hull, but there we go. That TVP is going to do some work, although being a TVP, there's no chance in hell that it's going to be going through the front turret armor of the Kronenwagen. But look, Madhouse and TCZ getting themselves on towards that one flag right there. Joke going to be the only one, and I actually like that. It means they're not really putting themselves in too bad of a position if the Horsemen do end up rushing them. It means they'll only really lose that 1-1-13 and have the rest of their tanks ready to back him up.
Horsemen
In the
going for a flank, though.
Yeah, Horsemen going for a flank, and TCZ have been spotted, so they're going to know that there's some Horsemen members around.
Too sure how Coalition Zoo are going to prepare their counter push here as Spencer, Archon, and Sphinx have made their way up. OBOV, Nundasu, and Gorilla, all they need to do is get the quite easy resets. They have a minute to work with, so it's nothing pressing for them just yet. Spencer's going to get spotted out. We'll see if Lion can get a few shots into him before he retreats back into the fog of war.
Yeah. Let's see. Gorilla there on the Kranvagen still just being a bit of a thorn in TCZ's side, and they're not looking too good, TCZ. They're just trading this out and not trading back. We can see Joke drop down to half HP, Crazy almost on half HP. Roby1 Kenobi taking free shots as well. This just isn't working out for them, and I'm not too sure why they didn't just decide to push through to the one flag. But Horsemen really have got them on the ropes here.
Yeah, the Coalition, they seem very hesitant right now to make any bold plays. They're just trying to lure out any careless Horsemen members and maybe go for a pick here, but Horsemen, they're not going to go down to that type of play. They're playing this slow and calculated and methodical. They know how they win this game, and they're going to play it by the book here. But Coalition Zoo looking very worse for wear right now.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, I was about to say there's only 1,000 HP difference, but just like that, Horsemen start laying into TCZ.
There's Madhouse.
Yeah, Madhouse gone, and Sphinx just getting these free shots. He should not be allowed to get these free shots.
Beautiful stuff. Joke goes down. Gorilla is the one to pick him off. They might be able to return the kill into Kranvagen. He goes down. Lion, Crazy, and Roby1 going to be making their push up. Chippy falls, though. That's 3 tanks down on the field for Coalition Zoo. A 5k HP pool disparity here. That's Horsemen. Should have no trouble cleaning this one up.
Yeah, Horsemen just looking a little bit too strong for TCZ right now, and you're right, they shouldn't have any issues cleaning this one up as another member of TCZ goes down the line, and really, TCZ here just taking way too much damage as they tried to sit on the flag there, and I'm not too sure what they were doing by sitting half of their tanks all the way back there at the beginning.
I really think they may have thought if they bait a Magical Forest push and then go for the one flag, they could catch Horsemen off guard in a rotation, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Horsemen, they even did rotate, but there was no one from TCZ ready to stop that at all. So really a bit of misplay there from TCZ, and that definitely doesn't look like the TCZ that can win
a series
against Horsemen at all.
No. They're really under the pump right now. 4-1. Do Horsemen take the score up? So last chances galore for Coalition Zoo. Should they want to keep their head in the game, should they want to stay relevant in this series, they need to start pulling up all the stops, because right now it's not going to happen if they keep up this level of play.
Nope. No, it is not. So TCZ only have one chance to stay in this series, and that is the next game. But look, I think they're on Muravanka. They tried something a little bit new, because I don't think I've seen that one before from them, and I don't know, maybe they practiced it in scrims, maybe it has worked. I think early on it wasn't too bad, because they managed to get quite far up and cause a bit of disruption in the Horsemen's defensive lineup by forcing a few of the Horsemen to move a little bit, but they didn't really capitalize on that at all. And I don't know, maybe they should have pushed out towards a 2 flag, tried that, which we don't really see working too often here in APAC, but like taking the Magic Forest and then just completely giving it away, sacrificing it after that, like for the enemy team, the Horsemen, to shoot you from those positions that you were in and could have held 2 minutes ago just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and we're going to see exactly what happened in this game as Madhouse just gets obliterated straight off the bat. He was trying to go for a rotation over, and Coalition, they tried to contest a position that Horsemen had already dug into quite heavily. And that's what happens when you're indecisive and don't know which side of the map you want to attack from. You allow Horsemen to get all the correct angles, all the correct setups, get hulled down on the Kranvagen, and then before you know it, it's over.
Yep, exactly. So we can see on the scoreboard at the end there, well, Sphinx up the top, and it really feels like tonight Sphinx is actually having a bit of a
Oh, he's
comeback.
playing beautifully tonight.
Yeah.
Those shots he was hitting across the map through the shrubbery as well.
Yep.
Perfect stuff out of Sphinx. On to Joke. It was great.
Yeah.
Treat to watch.
Sphinx definitely doing work here tonight. And Roby1 Kenobi, well, the top scorer for TCZ, having a fairly unimpressive 1,500 damage. Crazy with 1,430 damage as well in that bad chat. And it's really just a very low damage game there from TCZ. And it's never great when you have to take out the Kranwagen first.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madhouse in the TVP, that's where the majority or a large portion of the damage of the TCZ lineup is going to come from. For him to, again, only get 1,000 damage off. I'm not a big fan of the TVP on Muravanka for that reason, because it can't touch any of those hold down tanks like the Kranwagen, like the T110E5 that you're always going to see on the defensive side of Muravanka. And we saw that 8 shots fired, hit maybe 3 of them.
Joke just not even getting a single point of damage on the board. That's because he was immediately blown up without a chance of retribution. He was just crossed out, angled down, and left out to dry by the rest of the team. And then you can see 4-1 up. The Horsemen Coalition Zoo's days are numbered right now. We both came into the series thinking, hey, Horsemen, they're on the downward trend. Coalition Zoo, we've seen great things from them the past few days. This could be big, this could be huge, but unfortunately, living up to our initial anticipations for this series.
I'm still hoping that TCC can take another one out. Otherwise, I'm going to be wrong in my prediction. I feel a little bit annoyed. But there's still the chance that they could take out the defensive side here on Muravanka. You know, it is defense, something which they don't have to do as much for. You know, just again, pick some Kranwagens or pick a Kranwagen, pick a T110E5, pick your bat chats, just standard stuff. I'm sure they could pull that off against Horsemen here. Doable. It's doable. I think Horsemen, we're not going to be seeing them do anything too crazy. Probably just their normal bat chats, maybe a couple of 113s or a T110E5 or Kranwagen, maybe something like that here on the attacking side of Muravanka. But again, it does depend on how well TCZ can maybe try and utilize that Magic Forest, if they can get in there on the defensive side when Horsemen are trying to cap that one flag, which we assume they do. Because again, in APAC, 2 flag pushes never really work.
I don't even think I've seen teams. I think we've seen like maybe 1 or 2 teams attempt it, and it's just been a failure. It's over before it began. Essentially, it's kind of the backup plan to that one. So going forward, I do expect Horsemen to be very aggressive on that one flag. Make sure they can get their tanks in to position. We should be seeing a brawl coming from Coalition Zoo to finish that one up. And when it comes down to a brawl, I still give Horsemen the advantage in that regard, just because of the style they've been playing lately. Very auto-loader focused, very like in and out, making sure you're getting the damage down, understanding timing windows especially. So when it comes down to those big one flag fights, I got to give it to Horsemen.
Well, there you go. I think I'm still hoping for this one to be a 1-1 so that TCZ can get a second win on the board in this series. It is looking a little bit like a struggle for them at the moment after that performance. It really didn't look like they had much of a chance of winning that at all. They didn't use their map control properly once they'd actually got it. They didn't put any pressure onto the Horsemen at all at any point in that last game. So it made it very easy for the Horsemen to just take back the Magic Forest, get the shots in that they needed, and by the time that TCZ did push in, half of their tanks were already destroyed.
Yeah, they did. They even did a good job of getting unspotted all the way up into the hill, but it just came back down to how well set up the Horsemen were. You give them 5.5 minutes to get into position, and you better expect you're running into essentially a perfect setup where you're going to get angled down from every position. So we've seen Coalition Zoo fall privy to this before in maps like Himmelsdorf, where they just don't push out. They just let the other team take the entirety of the map, and then they're the ones that are forced to run into the shots before they can get the spots, and it's over before it begun. So I want to see Coalition Zoo, if they're going to be playing this defense, to set up aggressively, fight for their positions, make sure they're not taking these trades lying down. They've got to fight back. They've got to show some signs of life.
Hopefully they do, I guess. And, well, maybe if this is the time when TCZ need to bust out some crazy tanks, I'm not sure, but we are going to be seeing the tank picks, and it will be nothing too crazy from either side. In fact, TCZ, you going to be going to that TVP again. A little bit iffy on that one, but they have got the Kranwagen. They have got the T110E5. Going to be going with the STB1, actually the Japanese Tier 10 medium tank, which, look, it's got very high DPM. Good little bit of gun depression on that one as well, so it can potentially work if they can use it properly, but only a few auto loaders in their lineup. So we'll see how well that works out.
As we're jumping into potentially the last game of the series, Horsemen, just as we predicted, are going to be going very aggressive up to that one flag. It seems like Coalition Zoo, though, are making the appropriate defense precautions. Setting up, you can see Lion. He's just going to be staying back to spot for any shenanigans with Spencer and Hawks. They're already on the cap.
Yes, good bit of early pressure there from the Horsemen. I'm liking that. We are going to be seeing Joke. He's going to be the one dedicated to try and get these resets. Obviously, oh yeah, STB1 does have 132 millimeters of frontal turret armor and a very bouncy turret in general. So he should be able to put some pressure on towards the Horsemen there. He's going to need to, because those Horsemen actually getting the cap down to 17 seconds and Joke's not actually focusing on them. So really the Coalition Zoo, they have to make a decision pretty soon, because in 10 seconds they're going to lose this one.
Yeah, this could be very, very bad. Here comes Madhouse. He needs to get the resets. He gets one shot, but that's still 18 seconds left on the clock. They might be able to punish him before he can do too much more. They might get him. He's so low. He needs to back out of this one. It looks like Coalition Zoo have fallen straight into the Horseman trap. Sphinx gets one onto Joke on the other side of the map. That's 2 tanks down for Coalition Zoo Horsemen. They're surviving somehow. Sphinx, he may need to turn his tail and run. Crazy should have no trouble finishing off. So that's 1 for 1 now. Nomad is under the pump. He's under the firing line. Crazy, no ammo left, but that's 3 tanks on the hill for Coalition Zoo. Here comes Hawks in his Bashat AP, trying to tickle the Kranwagen. Archon, OBOV, and Gorilla are going to be the ones to back him up. It's a 4 versus 3 on the hill. Where are the remaining members of Coalition Zoo?
Oh no, and Chippy there, he's just missed a shot on towards Gorilla. That could potentially be crucial, as Lion is going to be going down Chippy on the reload in that Kranwagen. He's not going to be doing anything soon. And look at Horsemen here, they're doing such a good job of trading aggression. Hawks got low, so he moved out. Gorilla's got low, so he moved out. They're not taking any unnecessary kind of kills there.
Oh, but this Kranwagen's going to come off reload very, very soon. This could be the turning point for the game. Nomad does go down, but it's all going to be on Chippies. All eyes on Chippy to come through, get the first kill onto Gorilla, because he could pop off, get one onto Hawks, and 2 shots onto OBOV could send him flying. So Chippies, he needs to come up huge. He needs to get this kill. He's being so hesitant. Here comes Hawks off the rig. Gets a great shot, and Spencer punishes him. Beautiful stuff. The last hope left for Coalition Zoo may have been extinguished.
Yeah, that was really, really annoying there from, from Horseman. If your TCC so close to getting a kill. 1 second left, OBOV. I don't know. This is...
They've got to be careful.
They need these kills. They really need these kills. And Odysseus actually going completely ham on towards that 113. I just don't really see this working out.
A big shot. He's got a fully loaded bat shout, though. Is there anyone there that can help out OBOV? It's Gorilla. He might be able to get the quick kill onto Gorilla. He switches his attention back onto OBOV. He still has one more shot in the chamber. It could be huge. He needs one more, and he gets it. The 2v1 for Odysseus. This could be the huge turning point for Coalition Zoo. Crazy goes down. He's in the 2 versus 1 now. Versus 2 Batshat APs, but the shot's coming through. He's missed the shot. He's on the 35-second reload, and Spencer, should he have a full clip, will have no trouble hunting him down.
Yeah, that's really disappointing.
He's on the reload as well, though.
Okay. But yeah, Odysseus really needed to hit that shot.
Yeah.
If he'd done that, then it would have been potentially doable in a 1v1. But right now, again, Odysseus on the reload. Maybe if he'd had a full clip, then something might have potentially worked. But at this stage, yeah, it's not going to happen.
He's just going to get peppered out by Hawks. Once the reload comes through from Spencer, he should have a free shot. Shoots straight through Fog of War, takes him out. Oh no, it's actually Odysseus taking out Hawks. I speak too soon. Spencer, great position to do so. He's missing the shots. It's all coming down to these mechanical fights, but there it goes. Spencer takes him out. Odysseus, great effort, taking out 3 tanks at the back end of that fight. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. And what a close round.
Very
Coalitions.
close round.
Coalitions.
Yeah, 500 health is all that's in it. So look, TCZ, they gave it a good crack there.
They really did.
And
They gave it a great honest try.
Oh well, they don't win.
No, they
Anyways,
don't.
So
I feel like you're more upset about your prediction than Coalition
I am a
Zoo
little bit
losing
upset
that
about
one,
my
Alex.
prediction, because they came so close to winning.
They really
like
do.
2 of those rounds. They're so close to a 5-2, and just like that, my prediction gets
Thrown out the
completely
window.
Thrown out the window, exactly. So,
You're eating Domino's tonight, and we'll be having something more special, Alex.
a bit of Mimos. we should get them to sponsor our show, local pizza chain. Anyways, but look, Mimos aside, I think the TCZ have got to be a little bit disappointed at that one.
Oh, of course.
Losing out 5-1 and getting so close to winning a few of those ones. Like they didn't play that last one too badly. Like early on, maybe the issue for me was that I don't see why they had to have Madhouse in the TVP, YOLO and die. Like,
Yeah, I know.
And be the one that pushed in. Could have been a T110 E5 maybe, and he would have had a little bit of a higher chance of survival, but instead like a 2000 HP TVP that just, yeah, he got the reset. Yeah, I think maybe he got his shots off and died. Yeah, a bit of a mistake there, I feel.
Guess we'll just have to wait and see on the post-damage stats after the replays here, and you can see this is just the battle, the complete brawl that we anticipated here in Horsemen. They just have the better focus fire, and this was great stuff. Chippies was kind of the last hope to maybe get 2 free kills onto Gorilla. Hawks and Spencer played that perfectly, and then you can see here Odysseus gets the 1 tap, gets the 2nd as well, finishing off OBOV, and couldn't do it all, unfortunately. Couldn't do it all. Would have been a miracle worker.
Oh, it would have been. He almost got 4,000 damage there in that bad shot, so he's got to be pretty happy. But those bad shot APs actually coming up fairly big for the Horsemen there. 3 and 5 in the damage stats, at 2.4k and 2.1k damage respectively. And no one else from TCZ, well, only 2 members from TCZ up the top of the scoreboard there. So that's a little bit disappointing, but look, the Horsemen did play that brawl really well. They swapped out the aggression properly. So when 2 of those members got so low in that fight, they just rotated out. They hid back behind the hill, and that's exactly what they needed to do.
Great stuff coming out of Horsemen to take away that win. Nandasu not being able to do anything in his Batshot 25. Gorilla as well, just getting obliterated off the map.
Yeah.
It was looking good. There were some signs of greatness from Coalition Zoo in that game, because it came down to the wire at the end of the day. It was so close, really convincing from Coalition Zoo that they had more to give us than what they did tonight.
Yeah,
that's what I'm taking away from this game, is they
exactly.
definitely had more.
Exactly. And it's disappointed that we didn't see any crazy strats here from TCZ. Maybe they were planning to bring it out in their match yesterday, but just didn't have a chance. And I honestly think not having their match yesterday maybe kind of meant they were a little bit rusty coming in today as well. You know, it might have felt like that. That could have been part of the reason why we saw them just not quite on point like we've seen them previously in some of those fights. Their target calling maybe wasn't quite, 10 out of 10 like we saw it when they did end up, winning their last game there. So,
well, on the other head of the coin, of course, this is breaking the losing streak for Horsemen, showing that they still are one of the top 4 teams in our league right now. They could be back. This could be that confidence boost that they needed to help them get back up to shape, because they needed a win. They really needed a win here, Alex.
They did. And well, we can see up the top was 1, 2, 3, and 4 members from Horsemen there. So they deserve that win. OBOV doing a solid amount. Nandesu doing work as well. And Sphinx kind of coming back into it with 1,600 damage. And having Roby-Wan Kenobi up the top for TCC is actually quite strange. We don't see that very often at all.
No.
But, I mean,
well, he got some really strong shots off on mines in that...
in the grill, I think it was.
It was like 4K, I think. Really boosting his stats up for that one.
Yeah. No, the mine...
But what does that say? 1 round was half his damage dealt the entire series as well.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Almost. That was quite a lot. But yeah, the rest of TCC just not quite doing too much work there. Fortunately, Nomad there, 1,000 damage. Lion, 1.1k.
Yep.
Chippy again. Just a few little improvements to be had, I think, on the TCZ lineup overall. And Yeah, look, they know what to improve on in the next half. I think the map pool didn't really favour them. Maybe next time they could take out steps, particularly when they're playing against Horsemen, a team that does look so strong on steps. That really didn't help them either.
Very great stuff coming out of Horsemen tonight, and I'm hoping to see them back taking high strides in the top 4 because as of late, again, they haven't been impressing us, so it is good to see them back on form. And up next, we do have Karen Tiger taking on B Gaming. Karen Tiger, they've been looking great. B Gaming, not so much. But all that and more when we come back after a quick 10-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit.